Well, everyone, welcome back. We had a little bit of a longer break than anticipated there, and we were scheduled to start at 6:45, but we had to wait a little bit. Not really sure what we were waiting on, but we're live now, so I guess we'll just go with
Radiant team ban.
with that and pick up with where we are. But we had our first match of the night between Animal Kingdom and Evernovas. Once again, guys, this is the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 7. We're just getting started with the group stage. We're in Group A right now. We're going to have 5 matches tonight. We've only covered 1 so far. So we've got another 4, including the match that we're casting right now. To sort out which of these 4 teams, well, of course, only 2 of them will be advancing to the playoff stage. Another 2 will get eliminated. But we've got compLexity going up against Luccini Gaming here for our second game of the night. Our first game was Animal Kingdom versus Evernovas, and that one went pretty handily in favor of Evernovas, although Animal Kingdom was starting to crawl their way back as the game kind of went on. But it looks like they just didn't have enough time to be able to overcome the huge lead that Evernovas took early on in that game. But there is one thing. There was a pretty heavily favored. It was a pretty heavily one-favored match. It was considered to be 63% in favor of Animal Kingdom and 37% in favor of Evernovas. Of course, we saw Evernovas take the win there, so maybe a little bit of an upset. I'm not really sure if I'd call it that, but Evernovas kind of upset the favorite in that match. Now this match, it's a little bit more one-sided. compLexity 91%, Luccini 9%. So it's a little bit more of a steeper hill to climb for Luccini here. But there is, I did hear that the Swedish players on compLexity aren't in the U.S. right now. They are playing from Sweden. They're back home visiting. So they're going to be playing with higher ping than usual. So maybe compLexity's not going to have as easy a time as most would expect for this match, but we'll see. We'll see. But they did start it off with an interesting ban, to say the least. Ricky, of course, just getting added to captain's mode in 687. It was played in WePlay tonight.
5 seconds remaining.
I didn't get to watch the game. I do know it was played, but it did earn a first immediate ban here from compLexity. Now, whether they thought it was fantastic and it was way too strong and it needed to be nerfed, or they threw out a little bit of a troll ban there because they feel pretty confident going up against Luccini, I don't know. But they banned it nonetheless. They also banned Tinker, which once again, another one of those, what? Why are they banning Tinker? Luccini does have a pretty confident Tinker player. Camusi, you can even see hashtag Tinker, Tinker portrait. He's pretty damn good at the hero, so they respect ban that. Luccini went with a little bit more standard bans. Nature's Prophet, although it was slightly nerfed in the patch, Admiral Bulldog was talking about it on stream the other day. He says, I'm really surprised by those bans. I think Nature's Prophet should have got banned much more, should have got nerfed much harder than that. And he didn't really consider the bans to be much at all. Or the nerf. Why do I keep saying bans? I don't know. But either way, it gets banned out here by Luccini. So Nature's Prophet, again, once again, probably going to be a really strong pick, but it's going to be removed this time around. Wisp is a hero that never really goes away. Ever. It's always going to be strong. It doesn't really have to be tuned at all. It's not too strong. It's not too weak. It's just always one of those heroes that's always just really scary to play against. And then on top of that, compLexity plays it so well. So part of it's a respect ban. Part of it's the fact that Wisp is always really strong. He's also kind of rears his head, or I guess Wisp doesn't have a head. He's just a ball. But he always seems to come back every time there's a new patch. We spoke a little bit about Lich in the same way in Game 1. But Wisp getting banned out here. And then we do see that Lich as our first pick from compLexity. Obviously, they really think that Lich is really, really strong right now. And it's also a really strong, comfortable pick for them. So they pick it up immediately. Luccini fires back with Doom and Bounty Hunter, 2 heroes that are seeing a lot of play recently. Doom was banned our last game, but he's still a very, very contested pick. And he was before the patch as well. compLexity pick up their Tiny, which a lot of people, I think, would be surprised. The fact that they go after that Tiny with the Wisp being banned. Of course, like I said, compLexity very, very strong with the Wisp combined with the Tiny. But they're just going to pick up the Tiny. Given that the Wisp is banned as well, they're perfectly comfortable with that. Tiny was played a little bit in WePlay as well. I believe EG played it in one of their matches. So we'll see how compLexity is going to be able to do with that hero. We have seen them play it in their old roster, but that was quite some time ago, and they did quite well with it. So we'll see if how compLexity is going to do with it this time around. Not sure if we've even seen them play it with their current roster, but I could be completely wrong in that. But yeah, on to our next bands. We had Queen of Pain and Batrider banned out by compLexity. Luccini banned out the Invoker and the Beastmaster. Really surprising to see Beastmaster make it this far through the draft. He's one of those very contested first ban, first pick kind of heroes, and he has been for a little while, but no, he makes it all the way to the second banning phase and eventually gets banned out on the final ban. But we've got our next couple picks in. Luccini has picked up a Lion as their second support. We expect the Bounty Hunter to be the more active of the two supports as the position 4, and Lion being the more stay-at-home support, the position 5. Doom, I guess he's going to be their offlaner. We've seen a little bit of Doom kind of being played as that position 4. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the Doom kind of sitting in the jungle, Bounty Hunter taking up kind of that offlane role. We'll see how Luccini chooses to run it. Excuse me, but compLexity picking up Spirit Breaker as well. So we might see a duo offlane of Lich Spirit Breaker. That's a very real possibility. Then Tiny would need another hero to kind of stay with him. Or maybe we even see a Tiny mid. That's a possibility as well. Luccini picking up the Zeus, so we expect that to be their mid laner. Zeus got toned back a little bit, as I'm going to quickly hop on over to my patch notes here so I don't misquote anything here. But Zeus got nerfed a little bit. And I say a little bit, even though these numbers are more than a little bit, but I'll get into that in a second. So static field damage reduced from 5, 7, 9, 11% to 4, 6, 8, 10%. Small nerf, but actually quite significant. Static field no longer disables Blink Dagger. That's actually a pretty interesting change. I don't really see it being used too much here, but the other thing, Thunder God's Wrath damage reduced from 225, 350, 475 to 225, 325, 425. So it gets weaker as the game goes on. However, with the addition of the changes to Int, where Int gives spell damage effectively, I don't really see those nerfs as being that significant. Zeus is probably still going to be putting out the insane damage that he can put out. The biggest nerf there is probably the static field damage reduced, more so than the Thunder God's Wrath damage. So we'll see if Zeus is still going to be able to blow people up like we kind of expect Zeus to be able to do. As for our final two bans, Anti-Mage and Templar Assassin getting banned out. I'm really interested to see if Templar Assassin is going to come back into the meta with the new item, Pike, Hurricane Pike, something like that. I always forget the name of that item, but I think it's very, very valuable on her. So it'll be interesting to see if she's going to start coming back into the meta. We're seeing her final band here. Alchemist was the final pick for compLexity, so they're going with the Grievel's Greed, Alchemist. But Legion Commander, another hero that we kind of expect. It's one of the big names in the patch that a lot of people have been talking about. Legion Commander is going to be the final pick for it. Luccini Gaming. We're going to see what they're going to be able to do with that. Of course, Legion Commander got somewhat buffed with the blade mail change, and basically what happens is if you attack a target, say you're attacking with 100 damage, and that target has a certain amount of armor, say it reduces that damage by 20%, so the target would then only get hit for 80. But if that target pops blade mail, they still get hit for 80, but they're going to reflect back 100 damage, not just the 80 damage. So blade mail getting a little bit of a nerf there, or a little bit of a buff there. Before it would only reflect back the 80, now it reflects back the full 100. So the damage being dealt before mitigation is what gets reflected back, not after mitigation. As for our teams and our players, now that we're in the game, we've got to introduce Luccini on the Radiant side. We've got inside playing the Lion. The Sword is going to be on the Doom. We've got Sheket playing the Bounty Hunter. Matthew is going to be on the Legion Commander, and Camuzi is going to be on the Zeus. As for Team Complexity on the Dire side, we've got Swindle Melons with what looks like maybe another safe lane Darkseer. Maybe this is a window into things to come and things to expect. But Swindle's going to be playing that Darkseer. We got Limp on the Tiny. Chessie's going to be playing the Alchemist. Z-Freak is going to be on the Spirit Breaker. We've seen him play a lot of Spirit Breaker, more kind of at the start of 686, I believe, is when we saw him play a lot of that. But yeah, it's a hero he's very, very strong on, very, very comfortable on. Handskin is going to be playing the Lich, and that's going to round up everyone on Complexity. Typically, we used to see a lot of duo lanes in the off lane from Complexity with Z-Freak on that Spirit Breaker paired with something with Swindle Melons, and we saw a lot of strength with that, but doesn't look like we're going to see that kind of duo, brotherly duo that we're used to seeing, as looks like Swindle Melons is going to be in the safe lane by himself, but maybe I'm wrong. Z-Freak moving up here, so they are maybe going to be laning together. As the game gets underway, as Chessie is in the mid lane here on the Alchemist and starting to get harassed back. His Bounty Hunter's on him, Lion's on him, and Zeus is on him. As Chessie taking some damage, he will finally get stunned up by that Lion. Do they have enough damage? No, they needed one more attack. Chessie pops the Fairy Fire anyways to survive. So Luccini goes for the early kill. Unfortunately, not able to score the first blood there, as I continue to trip over my words here. But let's talk a little bit about the lanes. We've got Alchemist in this mid lane going up against the Zeus. Of course, we expect those supports to kind of move away. But that's the lane that we're looking at right now, Alchemist versus Zeus. In the top lane, looks like it's an off-lane Doom from Luccini going up against the safe lane Darkseer with a Spirit Breaker with him. But once again, we kind of expect the Spirit Breaker to roam away from that top lane, similar to how the Bounty Hunter is going to be moving around quite a bit as well early on. Duo off-lane of Tiny and Lich, and they're going to be going up against safe lane Legion Commander with the Lion babysit. And right now we see that Bounty Hunter down here, but we, like I said, expect him to be moving around. We already see this Lich at level 2.5 right now. And, you know, Legion Commander's sitting there at 2.5, but he's had solo XP down here, as I've completely missed a kill in the top lane because I was expecting them to go on bottom here, and they do. As Limp getting stunned up and right-click down, as Complexity lose Limp on, and they're Tiny there. As Hanskin taking a little bit of damage as well. Looks like he's going to be okay. He's going to drop down to 70. Oh, Lion's going to go for the stun, but Hanskin hides in the trees, jukes and jives. We're going to have, oh, just in time, Limp TP's in, gets the stun off, as it looked like Lion was going to win out there on the exchange. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Swindle Melons has gotten a kill on the Sword, as the Sword got a kill onto Z-Freak there, but the Doom now sitting at 2 deaths already in this game. His Inside's going to TP up here at the top lane, but he's got 2 creeps on him and Swindle Melons on him, plus the Ion Shell. That's a lot of damage coming in on that Lion. He immediately drops down to 340 HP, and we can already see that there's a charge coming in from Z-Freak as he's crossing over our top rune right now. Here he comes, Swindle Melons. We'll give him an Ion Shield. Nice little team play there from the two. As he jumps on in, on to Inside. As Inside's going to hex him on up. He's going to go for the stun, but Z-Freak's going to be able to get the kill there. Well, actually, Swindle Melons is going to get the kill. It was the Ion Shell doing the damage, and of course that's Swindle Melons' ability, so he gets the kill in the long run. We've seen a lot of action so far. 6 kills already in this game. As Complexity find themselves ahead just a little bit, 4-2 right now. But they certainly have managed to take control of their lanes, and that's something that we really expect from Complexity. If you think back to Complexity in Season 6 and Season 5 of the Dota 2 Canada Cups, that was a little bit of a ways back now, and they had different rosters. But Complexity's always played this kind of early lane-dominating kind of play style, and then they go from that to taking advantage, pushing towers, snowballing off tower gold, and just taking control of the map and then starting to strangle you and finish the game off that way. Although there's a lot of other teams that find a lot of success in not playing that style, it's definitely what compLexity have found works really well for them. And even though that they've gone through different roster changes, it's still something that they really kind of stand by and keep playing. And even with 687, still playing the same style. If we can actually charge onto Zeus in the mid lane here, where he'll get knocked right into the welcoming hands of Chessie, who will smack him a few times to get a kill there. Shekid was there smacking him with his knife, but not really going to work out for him. Matthew is actually starting to back, but Limp's on the other side of him, who will pop the mango. I was about to say that he doesn't have mana to stun or anything, but he does pop that mango, gets a stun toss off. Matthew blows the horn and runs away. Hanskin was very, very close there to get a Frost Nova off, as Z-Freak was charging in, but he did cancel it. Inside starting to rotate down towards the bottom as well. Shekid's here. He tries to open up onto Hanskin. Shuriken Toss gets him below 100 HP. He wasn't able to get that last attack off to get to proc the Janata. As Swindles, how many times have we seen this where he just manages to get a ridiculous, just an absolute ridiculous amount of CS? This time he's safe lane, he's pretty much free farm, but even if he's off lane, we always pretty much see him leading the last hits. I don't know how he does it, but he's doing it once again. 44 CS right now. Got the Alchemist at 32. We've got the Tiny at 26. And those are all on the side of compLexity. Then we start seeing Luccini, where we've got the Zeus sitting at 23. The Legion Commander sitting at 20. And then the Doom at 10 as Z-Freak charges on in. Onto the Bounty Hunter, but then just backs away after he connects. Chessie picking up that Bounty Rune. Z-Freak picking up the Invis as he's picked up a Windlace. Great item for Spirit Breaker. Now he starts opening up on camera Z. Acid's also been placed down. Charge for a little brief stun there. And just one more attack. Z-Freak will find it. As they get the kill on that Zeus. Inside TP's in, but a little bit too late there. I can't get over. Look at the XP right now, and this is really the value of the Lich and why he's even stronger right now, especially as he eats the range creep, as he eats these range creeps. But we've got Limp sitting at 5.5, almost 6. We've got Hanskin sitting at level 5. Compare that to the Legion Commander, who's just past level 5, almost 5.5. So Limp's ahead of him in terms of XP. That was pretty much a for sure thing there as Matthew goes down. But we've got Limp basically ahead of Matthew in terms of XP. The entire time Hanskin's been there. So he's been splitting the XP with Hanskin, and for the most part, that Legion Commander's been solo. So the huge effect that the Lich has been having on XP as Shekid goes down there again. Gonna have another TP in from Matthew. And compLexity, they just jump on top of him as they take a lot of damage from the overwhelming odds. But Swindles comes in immediately. He gets doomed up by the sword, as it looks like Swindle's going to take a fall there. Thunder God's Wrath comes in, actually taking the kill there. And getting Hanskin and a few other compLexity heroes low, but they'll be able to back away, and they're all going to go back to Fountain.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Ooh, interesting. We're going to have an armlet getting picked up by Chessie. Armlet was changed a little bit, so you effectively have 5 more armor when you proc it. Chekid's been trying to put pressure on this mid lane, but compLexity always having that sentry ward there, always making sure that the Bounty Hunter is just going to be kept down. And normally we see Bounty Hunters really try to contest that, buy a lot of sentry wards, really make sure that they have sentry control over mid. But this game, it's been rough. The Bounty Hunter hasn't really had a great start. He's sitting at 0-1-1. That's not the worst. but his entire team is kind of falling behind, and it's hard to kind of find that gold. But I don't know. He's working towards an urn, it looks like. We actually just had an urn completed by Z-Freak about a minute ago. Stun's going to come out from inside. But really not much follow-up. They do have duel.
Nice try.
I'm not sure if they're going to be able to even get a kill if he uses duel. Maybe if they get a duel off on Handskin with Limp isn't there, they'll be able to find a kill. As I missed another kill in the top lane. Z-Freak and Swindlemones combined for another kill on the sword.
Radiant's top tower.
But I think their kill potential with the duel will really go up once Lion hits level 6 and has Finger of Death. As Matthew going to get stunned, tossed, Chain Frost bouncing in, blows the horn, and he will be able to back away and not go down there. So that was huge for Luccini, not losing their Legion Commander once again.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
As inside will actually TP away, go back to Fountain, get his HP back up. 10-minute rune's going to spawn. It's an Arcane Rune for the Bounty Hunter. Limp was right there to bottle it up, but Bounty Hunter was there first.
Radiant's middle tower is
And
under
that
attack.
means Chessie's going to be able to get the top rune and another Bounty Rune for the Alchemist. As Limp's going to get surged, he's going to start charging on in. Camo Z. There's a lot of damage there. Limp then has to turn around as he's going to try to turn around, get a stun off, try to help out Handskin, but not going to be able to do so. Here comes Z-Freak though, charging on in. Target is Zeus. Gonna get the stun off, ultimate, as I almost said the Tinker, as the Zeus starts running away there. Bash proc from the Spirit Breaker, but he's using his bottle to get his HP back up. He's sitting around 70 HP, but there's the stun from Limp as he comes surging once again. Now inside and the Sword are coming in as well. Matthew's there, he's got the duel, he's gonna use it on Z-Freak. Winner, winner, chicken dinner for the Legion Commander as the Doom gets cast onto Swindlemelons as the Dark Search slowly trying to run away from that Doom. But Limp will be able to toss out a stun, give Swindles a little bit of space. Might actually have to deny him here. No, he'll actually survive the Doom. So he won't have to deny him. He will toss him back to the creeps to get him a little bit further away from the Luccini heroes that are chasing after him. A little bit of lag there. Not sure if that was something that the players were feeling or if it was just on my scent. But it didn't look like I dropped any frames or anything like that, so it looks like it was just associated with DotA. We've seen a lot of action so far in this game. We're going to switch on over to the net worth, and we can see the top 4 all on the side of compLexity. And the big one, Chessie the Alchemist, now has passed 8,000 net worth. We're at 12 minutes in this game. My goodness. That is a big, big Alchemist. He's already double Limp, who's the 3rd richest hero in the game.
Radiant's middle tower is
Stun,
under attack.
toss, right click, Zeus dead. He even has a haste. Didn't even need it, but he will pop it because he wants more. He's going to start chasing down inside, who will juke into the trees and find himself trapped. As Chain Frost going to come in, it's going to bounce between inside and the creeps. Will it bounce back again? No, he's going to TP away. He's going to be fine, but the sword goes down. So compLexity, they were looking for another kill there. They found one, not on their initial target, but on one that's frankly more valuable for them.
Radiant's bottom tower has
As the
fallen.
Spirit Breaker ults once again, uses the charge to stun Matthew once again. Even has an extra bash proc because why not? And compLexity find themselves with another kill. 13-5 now. As compLexity, they were the heavy favorites, 91-9, and so far they are taking control of this game and showing that they are definitely the better team. But Z-Freak maybe getting a little too confident there, get blown up by Camo Z and the other heroes from Luccini. Tome getting purchased there by Z-Freak. He's about to hit level 8, so he might actually use that on himself. Indeed he did. And there we go. Radiant purchased 13.5 minutes after an armlet. Jeez. Chessie's GPM right now must be absolutely insane. Whereas GPM... 670 GPM at the just shy of the 14-minute mark of the game. And it's only going to get bigger. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, 1,000 GPM, something like that, is something that Alchemist could potentially hit, and he can. But you're not going to see that this early in the game. Is Chessie going to start brewing the unstable concoction? Tosses it. A little bit of an air shot there as the sword was tossed up in the air by Limp. As compLexity, they're just running around taking control of this map and exerting their dominance. We're going to have Veil completed here by the Zeus. We've got a Windlace sitting in the stash of Matthew. There's charge coming in from Z-Freak because he's on Matthew. Is stun tossed from Limp. As they thought they had the kill because they had double damage on the Tiny, but they didn't. Matthew blows the horn, gets a little bit of regen, is able to run away, and compLexity look like a bunch of fools there as they're stuck in the forest there trying to find the Legion Commander, but oh no, here comes compLexity. They get 2 kills, they drop the Zeus, they drop the Bounty Hunter, and they drop the Doom. As Matthew on the Legion Commander does manage to live and get out of there safely, and as I say that, Limp tries to prove me wrong, but the LC was able to get away. Chessie, Bruin, tossing on the Lion. Horn is there immediately for Matthew. Dispelling that stun. I do want to quickly bring up our items here, see if anyone else got anything new. We've got a Windlace up on the Lion. Besides that, there's that Veil recipe still. Mech completed on the Darkseer. We've got Blink and a point booster for the Tiny. Windlace on the Spirit Breaker. Already a Hooded Defiance picked up by him as well as the sword getting tossed back. And compLexity cleans up another kill there. But yeah, nothing too unusual there, or nothing new really. As Z-Freak finds another kill there, Swindlemelons actually gets it with the vacuum. There's that finger coming out from inside as he drops Swindlemelons. As Matthew once again living life on the edge. I feel like it's been all game long where he's basically almost dead, but Z-Freak does end up getting the kill with the urn. Unfortunately, he's not able to escape there as he goes down, and as the Thunder God's Wrath came out from Camusi, it also killed Handskin. So compLexity maybe going a little bit too deep there, and that's a lot of gold going the way of Luccini. Is it going to be enough to bring themselves back in the game? I don't think so, but I guess it's a start. As we'll bring up our net worth and we can see. It's already a 15,000 gold lead. It's already 1,000 gold a minute that compLexity is pulling away from Luccini. XP just around the 12k mark as well, so even on XP they're pulling way ahead. Luccini, they're trying to battle here. Certainly one of the underdogs. They made it into the group through the open qualifiers. And they have certainly have a tough match immediately going up against compLexity, as that was a little weird graphical glitch there as the sword was sitting up in the air there for a while. As he got tossed up in the air and bashed. But they will find the kill anyways, as Limp's going to get the kill there. As Midas getting purchased by the Lion as he keeps buying Midas and selling it. I guess, I don't know what he's doing. But while he was doing that, his Zeus went down. As compLexity going to take this tier 2 tower. $22-9 now.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
compLexity not going to back. They're going to keep going for the tier 3. No reason to draw this out any longer as Lion continues to buy and sell Midases. As a Lotus Orb going to get picked up by Swindlemelons here. And I can't remember, what did they do? They changed something to the purchasing Lotus Orb. I'll quickly tab on over to my patch notes here. Oh, right, you can you split your arcane boots, and it now requires an energy booster instead of the 900 gold recipe. So it's a little bit of an easier build-up for whoever's going for the Lotus Orb. And we see Swindlemelons taking advantage of that. He had arcane boots before, splits his arcane boots, and uses that energy booster to complete the Lotus Orb. There was actually a Tusk played earlier in WePlay as well, and I'm not sure if he got a Lotus Orb there, but again, one of those other heroes that typically get Arcane Boots might want to pick up a Lotus Orb, so he could definitely take advantage of that. Maybe even something like a Tidehunter as well could potentially make use of it, but we'll see. As I really expect Tide to probably see a little bit more play as well, as an off-lane Tide is probably going to rise in popularity with the patch, but that still remains to be seen. compLexity going to destroy the final Tier 2, Radiant Tier 2 tower on the map. That's a Manta completed by Chessie. Oh my goodness, he's so big right now. 18,000 net worth. He's now doubled everyone in the game as the sword once again stunned, tossed up in the air. As he lands, he gets meted with an unstable concoction, but still not able to bring him down. As compLexity find a couple heroes on low HP, so now 3 heroes on low HP as Swindles gets quite low. We don't have a Thunder God's Wrath to be able to finish them off, as it was used in conjunction with getting them low. compLexity will maybe just back away, get their HP back up before they try to push high ground. Limp about to complete his Aghanim Scepter. Just needs a little bit of farming time. Chessie up to another 2,300 gold. Inside wants to be doing a little bit of counter warding, but he's very, very scared to do so, and rightfully so. He could so easily get charged. They have no idea where Z-Freak is on the map. He is not really in a prime position to charge a line if he was doing some counter warding out there by himself. But they don't know that. He still doesn't cross over the Radiant Observer Ward. I think this is our first scan of the game getting used, because it got used right here. It's not showing on the minimap, but it's paused as one of the observers is drawing it as well. Well, I have to say this match is kind of going as I would expect. Luccini actually showed that they wanted to go for an early advantage, an advantage early on by going for, that first blood. They wanted to try and help out Kemozi immediately off the start by going for that kill on the Alchemist. Just barely didn't pan out for them. They showed a couple other plays like that where they really tried to get an advantage early on. Just didn't work. compLexity was playing really well, and Luccini was just a little bit off on being able to finish those kills. And because they weren't able to get that, then compLexity just kind of, I guess, being the better team, were able to take control of the game and just do what compLexity does best. compLexity's got to be probably the favorites in this entire tournament, so for them in their first match going up against an open qualifier, you kind of expect them to run all over the opposition. But you know what, Luccini, they've fallen behind, but they've managed to get 9 kills here against compLexity. They're kind of holding their own. They haven't lost yet. It's 21 minutes in. But yeah, they do have a little ways to go before they're going to be able to really play with compLexity. But they're not going to be out of it yet if they do indeed get eliminated here. I hate to call this one over, but it looks pretty much one-sided for compLexity. I think it's just a formality now, as they're going to get Roche here, and with that they should be able to push uphill. They'll probably go bottom, but they might even go mid. Scan getting used. And it's actually compLexity using this scan. Right? I know you can't scan... No, oh, sorry. Roche is protected by scan, so I think if you scan, you won't be able to see heroes if they are in Roche, despite the fact that your scan is close by. So maybe it was a Luccini skin, but we haven't seen many. We saw the one right before the pause, and then another one right there. But those are the only 2 that have been used. Everyone's kind of getting used to it. And it's a 4.5 minute cooldown, so it's not very long. Inside, TPing away. Zeus should also TP. There we go.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
We didn't even make note of who picked up the Aegis. Oh, I'm already looking at him, Chessie. And here comes that push from compLexity. They should just be able to take high ground here. You might want to wait for a little bit more HP on Chessie.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Shireen Core, oh my goodness. 21k net worth. There's an Aether Lens getting picked up by Zeus, so he's going to be able to do some more damage here. Problem is Luccini really wanted their Legion Commander to do a lot more in this game, but he's got completely shut down early on by the Zeus. Or by the Lich. Is compLexity? No, they're going to back up and just wait out that Doom. Now they're probably going to re-engage here. Not completely backing. You can have a regen up on Limb. There we go. They retake the high ground. Unstable Concoction. Getting brewed up. Gets tossed onto the line as the tier 3 tower is about to fall here, but Glyph's going to get used by Luccini. Where's Matthew? Here he is. Blade Mail in his inventory. Will he proc it and go for a duel here? He looks like he's just entirely on the defensive here. As Chessie is going to be the first hero to fall here, but he does have an Aegis, so he will be back up in a second. Immediately pops the Manta to get some illusions out as Zephyr comes charging on in. Maybe he's got a little bit too deep. He gets 4-step back by Handskin, but the sword is going to be the first casualty in this team fight. As Luccini will back away, start getting a little bit more HP from their fountain, but they already tap out. Good game, well played, will get called. As compLexity takes their first game in the group stage, and I guess that's exactly what we really would have expected going into this.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. compLexity, victory.
But Luccini's not out of it yet. We've got compLexity will advance to the winners match, which will be against Evernovus, and then we'll have Luccini go to the losers match, which is going to be up against Animal Kingdom. So how it's going to work is the winners match, winner of that automatically advances to the playoffs. The loser of the losers match automatically eliminated. So then we've got the loser of the winners match and the winner of the losers match as the only two teams left. They'll go up against each other in a decider match, and that'll be our 5th and final game of the night. But our next match is going to be the winners match between compLexity and Evernovus. So don't go anywhere. We're going to have that coming up in just a bit. I believe it starts at 8 o'clock, so another about 25-minute break. But yeah, we'll be back in just a little bit for that. Hopefully you don't go anywhere, and hopefully you stick with us.